You couldn't make it up. There must be a curse. There's got to be something. You know, I was talking with lads the other day at work, and we're saying, it's got to be that training ground. It's got to be that training ground. You know, there must be just like half an inch of grass on 40 foot of concrete underneath or something. There's got to be a reason for it. It's always on park now. Moore, COVID before game. Then Dean. Well, I never get injured. Bang, out. The curse of Wednesday. Dele-Bashiru, absolute agony. You could tell that. Windass. It's only just come back. The only good thing about it is that Luongo weren't playing because, look, we've had tonight. It could have been curtains for that lad. Unbelievable. I cannot. I just don't know. I just don't know. It's a shame and all, isn't it? Because tonight we should be celebrating the fact we've just had 2 back-to-back wins for the first time since November, you know, in a tricky game. Because this season, especially, these are the teams we've struggled to break down. Teams struggling at bottom end of the table, smaller clubs, if you like, come in here for their cup final, blah, blah, blah. These are the games where we haven't beat these clubs. These are the matches where we've struggled. And tonight, for large spells, we dominated the game. It looked like we were going to struggle to break them down again, but we didn't. We've won. We've got 2 goals. We've got a clean sheet. I mean, in a lot of ways, in history books, that's a perfect result of 2-0, isn't it? A comprehensive performance. Well done. And that's been overshadowed with this, with injury. I cannot. There's something going on. The game. Right, the game. Let's focus on the positives. The game. Team news before the game. Luongo is out. He's not injured. Don't worry. Okay, no, fair. You won't know though, would you, with this club? You won't put it past it. Luongo's out. He's been saved for another day. And thank God, like I said, that could have been end. But George Byers comes in, sitting in front of that back 4. Other than that, Wednesday's unchanged from the team that played Ipswich. So last match, Ipswich come to Hillsborough and they're happy to knock ball around their back 4, and we're happy to let them knock ball around their back 4. You know, they were the form team, 4 wins out of 5, and we just picked them off on counter. A bit different today. Morecambe struggling, wrong end at table. Wednesday got straight after them. 5 minutes in, the first time they really sort of ventured anywhere towards our half at pitch. Dean turns, he's facing towards Cop and just crumples down. And that's that. You know, 95 minutes into his Wednesday career. Limping from field of play. I couldn't tell if it were hamstring, ankle, to be honest with you. But now Wednesday's probably out for the season. We're probably just going to sit there picking up tab. But don't mention the curse. So Palmer comes on. He comes on to left side of centre half. Hutchinson shuffles into middle. First proper chance at the game. Little ball sort of round like that, looped round, and Windass turns sharply, blasts it. It's their keeper full in face, more or less sparks him out. One or 2 people were saying they thought it had hit his hand and then his hand had hit his feet. To me, it just looked like it blasted him full in face. It's a big stoppage for that. And it was a positive start from Wednesday. But that was the only real shot in first sort of 10-15 minutes. 18 minutes or so, Mendes-Lang, who's really been busy again today, gets inside, knocks a little ball into edge of box. Canberra does really well actually, just a lovely little cushion wall pass back out to him. He gets a shot away, but within a minute of that, 30 seconds of that, their keeper's just sat down, slumped into box, and obviously it's got better of him. So he's off. Walton and Leathern comes on for him. Don't disrupt Wednesday too much, despite these 2 quite big stops so early in game, like 20 minutes into the game. But there's probably actually everyone's been in ground half an hour because of these stoppages. But Wednesday keep pushing on, and but it's hard to break them down because they're playing this 4-3-3. and they were that deep in that sort of 20 to 35 minute sort of spell. It looked more or less like this. I mean, we really were camped in there. They did have ball it back at net, a very rare sortie into our half, and it was rare. Just a bit of confusion with Peacock, Farrell and Storey, who I thought otherwise, again, looked very solid. I just thought he was trying to just block their man off, but it was at Stockton, and he just gave him a bit of that, and they did get ball at net, but he'd become offside on second play, so bit of a warning shot there to Wednesday about the danger of their counter-attack. Referee and the linesman miss an absolute blatant corner where Canberra kicks it off their centre half. I don't even know. I mean, there's 4 eyeballs watching that, and not one of them sees it's come off defender. I don't know how that happens. Wednesday apparently, Cooney, he makes a fantastic block. Again, Mendes Lang links with Canberra, little 1-2. It's going it back at net, that. And that Cooney makes block. I don't know what he's doing over there because he's been a bit right back, but he's got all the way across, and that's a right block from there, lad. But 33 minutes in, I mean, I've looked after the stats for the first half. Wednesday had 77% of the ball, but just couldn't make it count. It's a bit like Ipswich over there. They had all the ball. I mean, difference is we had all the ball in their half. That's the difference between them and what Ipswich were doing over there. But we just couldn't seem to break them down. Not for lack of trying, it's just that final ball, final threaded pass, final cross. Byers, who had come in the Luongo role. The Luongo role, but not the Luongo role, because he was the deep midfield player, but he was a deep lane ball player. He weren't in there winning tackles. In fact, I still think he gets knocked off ball a little bit easily for my liking. But some fantastic ball playing, really calm and measured on the ball, and some really good added balls out wide, especially when they were shuffling across and trying to block everything off. He weren't afraid to open it up and let's go back the other way and really open it up. And there were probably 4 or 5 occasions when he did that. We were building up down this side with sort of Palmer, Bannon, Byers, and he'd just turn back out, open up and find Mendes along the other side. And that did look like it was going to be Wednesday's best opportunity of getting in. As it were, we went into break 0-0. But not before Dele-Bashiru got hammered. I read tonight on Twitter, somebody said that they thought he's neshed it. Neshed it? Neshed it? Watch it again, clown. Patterson's obviously come on for the last minute 30 seconds at first half, because obviously ref couldn't end game because he'd stopped the game, so it was one of the anomalies of the law when it all seems a bit of a faff. Patterson doing his usual self, chucking him centre about. I love Patterson. He's just one of them players. I think I'd love him whatever division we're in. Puts him centre about, winning headers, banging about. Byers, who sort of is the deepest lane player, but by which I mean he's still about 20 yards into their half because it's following same as first half. Corner routine down right hand side, ends up coming back at. Lovely ball into Canberra, nods it in, he's offside by that, but it's step out and step back in. It could have been in exactly the same spot, just for that split second, step out, step in. But he's been out for 5 or 6 weeks. Game other day was his first one in nearly 2 months, whatever. So still a bit rusty, but working hard. Quite pleased with him again. Just checking my notes here. Well, Mendes Lang had McLaughlin on his arse. Always nice to see a winger doing that. Bannon drove on, fantastic driving run in, cop end, tries to square it. I genuinely think if he just leathers it, head down, leathers it, I think that's probably a goal. But again, it's that final ball with Wednesday. It's good build up. They're under pressure, but we just can't find that final ball. In end, we had to do a bit of a Carlos here one, because you can dominate teams sometimes and not break down, and sometimes you just need to rely on something special, Something like what Ross Wallace used to do all the time for us. Tight game, 0-0, with better team, but no what's happening. I'll have a spank. Mendes line, good work, cuts inside, little ball into Bannon. I've seen people say Bannon was sloppy tonight. I won't say we're sloppy. I think he just looked a bit heavy-legged with some of his passing. And I'm thinking about that. How many games has Bannon actually missed this season? Probably been left out for a couple of Pizza Cup ties or whatever you want to call it. But generally he plays every week, and he plays in middle of park, which is hardest position on park. So I thought he just looked a bit heavy with one or two of his touches. But good awareness, lovely little ball out, and Byers, that's a great hit. Little touch out in front of him, comes in, just nudges it out. Quick eyes, and then his eyes on ball all the way. That's straight through it, top corner, like an adder. Fantastic, 1-0. Then it goes a bit typical Wednesday. I think it was Phil in preview video said he were hoping for a comfortable Wednesday win, 3 or 4-0. But it would probably be a typical Wednesday, got a 1-0 lead, and then it's squeaky bum time. And that's what happened, because from them barely coming out of their half, and I mean barely coming out of their half, suddenly 60 to 70 minutes, they have a little spell, and it's, you know that one, and you just, there's groans, and you can, everyone's groaning and mumbling, and get a footy Wednesday and all that game, and it's, and they did have that little spell. Peacock Faddle had a bit of a flap at one. I mean, again, I'll have to see when highlights of that morning, but on another day, it did look like he'd give that Stockton a bit of a, not on purpose, like, know what I mean? Just, I think he weren't going football, but it was like an half-hearted, and then a bit, and another day, another ref, that's probably a penalty, because we get plenty of them referees down there, don't we? So they've had a spell, 60 to 70 minutes, and you suddenly think, out of nothing, that. See Smith down it, dug out, because obviously Gaffer's badly again, poor sod. Get well to him and all. I know he were right ill with first one. He's urging him on. So comes on for Canberry. I found that a bit of an odd, and I know sometimes his first, he didn't get a lot of kind bounces tonight, Canberry, when it were around him with a spin on it, and but I thought that was a bit of an odd one. But I think Smith were just trying to do something to try and ease the growing pressure that were coming on us, because it was just that thing of deeper, drop. Wednesday ended up having a break. Windass burst down inside left channel, goes down. You can tell straight away, can't you? There. I thought it was his hamstring at first. I saw him go down, I thought it was hamstring. Then when he's coming off, he seemed to be doing something with his foot, a bit ginger on his toe. So then I thought, I don't know if it's his ankle, because he seemed to land on there, lad, if you know what I mean. So, hamstring or ankle, but typical. I mean, he's been out all them months. Come back, had another little niggle and he was out again. Come back and scoring goals, and then bang. Hutchinson, 2 fantastic double blocks on line as they're starting to turn screw a bit. One with head, one with foot, and it's just bodies in weight. I said this in Ipswich game, even though they didn't really do anything. Probably 3 fantastic blocks he made. Well, it's just awareness of just getting yourself between ball and goal. Sounds really basic. It's amazing how many players can't do it, can't think like that. Fantastic blocks from Hutchinson. Like I said, it's squeaky bum time. You're tense. You're like, oh, here we go. And especially when you look at Wednesday of the last 4 or 5 seasons, all the late goals. How many goals was it that we've shipped between 85 and 95 minutes? Tons. 50 points dropped. I know. Beginning of the season, like 3 games in, somebody worked it out for me. It was 50 points dropped. you think, oh no, not back to them ways again. Just Wednesday luck, innit? Just Wednesday luck. They're making a fist of it, thinking they can, chuck kitchen sink in it. I mean, suddenly their goalkeeper, their substitute goalkeeper is Leathern, who I thought were a bit shaky, to be honest with you. Suddenly he's like bloody Johnny Wilkinson. Accurate long goal kicks right down the middle of the park. Well, like, where were that before? But, do you know what I mean? Because it's all rolling it out from back these days, isn't it? But no, suddenly they're suddenly going for it, and it. Berahino comes on, who drove me insane straight away. Ball went out front of North Stand, stood about 2 foot away from thrower with his man behind him, and it just got lobbed over his head. And I thought, it's little things like that drive me insane. As it is, when we get the winning goal, he's actually involved. He does really well. Edge of their box. He's actually losing his balance. He's been knocked. He's actually way over, but he manages to square that ball to Mendes-Lang. Who hits it? Is it going in anyway? Don't matter, innit? Takes a massive deflection, and the spin on it just gives it one of them. In on far post to make I don't even know what time we're on clock by then. 96 minutes, something balmy like that. So 2-0 in end, but for that 15-20 minute window at end, from being completely comfortable. Like I said before, it's a great win, 2-0, against a team that we would struggle against. We do struggle against these, like I said, supposedly smaller clubs. Do struggle against these clubs who are at bottom of the table, who are coming here and making it hard, and it's a big day out, blah blah blah. So it's a great win, 2-0, clean sheet, 2 back-to-back wins. I mean, we had that since November, and yet sat here in house, everybody's in bed, and I still feel mentally exhausted from it. It tires you. The worry tires you, doesn't it? And that 20-minute spell, it's just like, oh God, here we go. So should be glad. We've just got 6 points out of 6. Luongo's safe and being wrapped in cotton wool tonight. But we'll just have to see what happens with these injuries, because it does bloody overshadow everything all the time. Wing's gone to Wickham. I mean, one more knock in middle of park now, we're down to bones, aren't we? I mean, we're looking at Saturday. It's probably going to have to be Luongo, Byers and Bannon. And then what? We're just left with Patterson. That's the only. I mean, I like Patterson. In fact, I think he's marvellous. I don't know what he is, but I do think he's marvellous. But suddenly it starts to look a little bit thin. Good news is, though, apparently Dunkley's back on training park. He's been on grass, we've heard. Also heard that they don't think Gregory's toe is broken. It is a foot injury, it's still swollen, but they're more hopeful than they were yesterday. That's what I've heard. Don't know if it's right, but not usually a bad source where that's come from, so... Dele-Bashiru, I thought he was quite lively again tonight, strong. I was hoping he'd get this run of games and a bit of confidence built, so we'll see what's happened to him. I mean, he did look in a bad way when he went off, but anyway, try and focus positive. 6 points out of 6. So a quick butchers at table, actually. 46 points, so Plymouth still a point ahead. Oxford 4 points ahead, although we have got game in hand on them, but that don't mean out, does it? Who have we got next? I think we've got Burton Albion coming up, haven't we? Burton and then Wigan. God, that's another 2 tough games here. Wigan up near the top end, aren't they? Have they gone on tonight, actually? Let me have a look at that. Have they gone on? There is a 1-1 with Oxford. Yeah, because I'm probably done with Wigan beating them, couldn't we? But them on Saturday, they're done a decent. Oh, Gordon Bennett, Rotherham. I don't think anybody's gonna catch them, are they? Never mind us. Well, it keeps it exciting, doesn't it? You know, we've still got all these games to go. Wigan, Burton, Rotherham. I mean, they're in some great form. They're out, but scoring goals for fun. So, see how we go at injuries. I'm trying to be happy. We just took 6 points, where I thought we might get 4, if you know. So all these injuries, I can't get it out of my head. There's something not right down there. But anyway, 8th place, point behind Plymouth. Burton Saturday, take another 3 points, make it 9 out of 9. That's all we can do in it. That's all we can do is just keep winning our games, and just see where we are. It's like I said over a week though, keep that spine together. I think we're a top 6 side. Lose players in that spine, I think we're a top 10 side, and just see how we go on. I mean, we are Dean now. Although Dunkley apparently on comeback. I've even heard Iorfa might be on comeback trail and getting back on doing a bit of running on grass, so might be too soon for this year, but that's all we can do in it as fans. Hope. That's all we can do. Hope. Yeah, decent performance. Concerning at times that we just didn't seem to have final ball or break them down, but overall very good. Man at match, I was very close to getting it by us because he did do really well. I thought his passing was really good. In fact, I thought most of the good stuff we did come from Byers' passing, because 1 or 2 were a bit sloppy tonight with ball. Thought he was excellent at that. Thought front pair worked hard. I thought Windass could have probably found an easier ball a couple of times when he took things on, but on the other end he's striker, but he's going to take shots at goal, isn't he? But overall, do you know what? For all possession we had, I don't know what final stats were. I know at half time it was 70-odd%. But for all that, I think I'm going to give me a man at match to Sam Hutchinson, because again, they had that little spell. I mean, teams always have a little spell in a game. It might be a minute, it might be 2 minutes, it might be 90 minutes, but they had that little 20-minute spell, and 2 or 3 fantastic blocks he did in there, and a couple of times he just comes sweeping out left and right side and just made brilliant interceptions, or just knocked it past winger and cleared it. And that's when you've got to be at your best, when you're not expecting it, and it's that sharpness. He's got that, and that reading at game, that understanding. So as good as we were with ball, used it quite well up to last third. As much as it's a 2-0 win and a clean sheet and fantastic, I still give it Sam Hutchinson, because you've still got to be always aware, and it's that wins you these games. So Sam Hutchinson, my man at match. I'm going to try and get some sleep now, but I know I'm just going to be sat there looking at the ceiling thinking, oh, I hope he's not torn his hamstring, I hope he's not ripped his bloody Achilles off bone and this and that other, because I swear to God, honestly, there's a curse down there. It's got visions of that bloody soothsayer from up Pompeii. Oh, that and bloody Fraser had a dad's army. Anyway, Wednesday 2, Morecambe Nout. I'll see you Saturday for Burton.